Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Can you please talk about enlightenment? What makes one enlightened or awakened? I only know about it from a Buddhist point of view, but I'm curious about the Hindu view and your interpretation. When we speak about the truth, the light, there's never a Buddhist truth or a Hindu truth or a, Indian truth or an American truth. There's just truth. In the same way, there's just light. So yes, all of the different traditions, all of the different philosophies explain this truth differently, but they're all taking us to exactly the same spot. It's like, I have here a glass of water, and if we went around the room, we've got so many different countries of people here, different languages, different backgrounds. Each of you would use a different word to speak about the water. A different word to speak about the water, a different phrase to speak about having your thirst quenched. But ultimately, it's all the same. It's just different ways of explaining exactly the same thing. So if you really understand it from any perspective, don't worry. That's great. You're in fantastic shape. The other perspectives are just going to be different words, different languages, different paths in. When we look at the Buddhist path, for example, we speak a lot about attaining a state of emptiness, a state of nothingness. In Hinduism, we speak a lot about attaining a state of everythingness. Now, they may sound like they're opposite, but they're actually just two different ways of describing the same phenomenon. The way that I explain this usually is, if I have a glass jar of air and my jar breaks, what do I have? Think about it for a minute. I've got a glass jar of air. My glass jar breaks. What do I have? Right? Air. Pieces of glass right on the ground. But what do I have in my hands? Nothing, right? Nothing. Or, what did we hear first? Air. So, I had a glass jar of air. The glass broke. If you say I have nothing, you'd be right in the idea that I used to have this much air, now I don't even have that. But if you said I have air, meaning everything, you'd also be right. Because where there used to be just a glass border around the air that I had, now that border has been broken. Now I just have air. And enlightenment is, as Pujya Swamiji says so simply and beautifully, living in the light. And whether you see that light in nothingness, or you see that light in everythingness, it doesn't matter. It's the same light. Because it's the light where the glass jar has broken. That border, that boundary of who I thought I was, has broken. So I'm now left with the void, nothingness, emptiness, or I'm left with everything. Because where there used to be this border between me and not me, now that doesn't exist. Now it's all just self, divinity, God, infinity. So enlightenment is really living in that light. Living in the light of truth, awareness, openness. Seeing the truth about yourself, seeing the truth about others. The darkness, that opposite of enlightenment, according to the Hindu tradition, is not a darkness of your soul. It's not a darkness of who you are. It's a darkness of ignorance. And so the light is the light that removes the darkness of ignorance. The darkness of ignorance says, this is me. I'm dependent on you for how I feel. I am my body, I'm my career, I'm my bank account, etc. The light comes in, dispels that darkness. It says, I'm not the body. I'm not the career. I'm not the bank account. I'm not how you talk to me. I'm not what you do. I'm not how you make me feel. I'm soul. I'm spirit. I'm consciousness. I'm love. I'm energy. And to live as that, it doesn't mean that we neglect the body. It just means we realize I'm not it. I take care of my clothes. Don't have too many of them. Need them. They keep me warm in the winter. The body, you've only got one. Clothes, at least you have a few sets to change. The body, you've got one. And you need it. Much more than you even need clothes. So we take care of it, but we don't identify as it any more than I would identify as this sorrow.